What's up everybody, it's Kevin here from Happy Beard Games, and today we are continuing my Batman costume painting for my Batman costume, which is once again based upon the Batman, the video game by Sunsoft for the Nintendo NES, based on the Batman '89 movie by Tim Burton. And today what we're going to do is, as you can see from the last video, we only painted about half of it up to here all the way around. And it looks great, it's turning out great so far. I'm really happy and pleased with what it is. We're not going to do a double coat of paint like I thought I would have to do last time. We're just going to keep the same coat of paint. But what we're going to do today is we're going to paint this bottom half right here that's already black. We're going to paint it purple. And then this yellow part right here, we're going to paint in light blue. I think we're going to start with the light blue and then do the purple after it, in case some light blue spills out. And I do have an extra paintbrush, a different paintbrush this time, as well as the same paintbrush from before to do the other parts right here that's purple. So let's get started with my Batman cosplay costume painting part for the mask part on Happy Beard Games. Let's do this. Ooh. In case you didn't see the first part, you can check that out for the first half of the costume painting, but it was pretty basic. Just painting it purple and making sure things worked was an essential part of that video. But the paint we're using is the Delta Creative, and the color is Passion, and it's purple. It's kind of a lighter purple, which actually turns out really good on this because I'm painting on black, and it turned out really good. And then we got the other acrylic paint, which is Delta Creative Mediterranean Blue, which is what we're going to start out with today for the blue portion of this costume, just a little bit of blue. And that should work pretty well, and then after that I will go over the other parts of purple. So we're gonna set this up right now. We're gonna start with the blue and work our way down from there. And I've got my original brush, which is just a foam sponge type brush. I've got my normal paint brush here, which I'll be using for the blue. I'll take my paint and put it on my palette, which is just this couple of paper towels, and I'm gonna put it up there. I don't know if you can see that, but you'll see it when it goes on. So let's get started. Now it doesn't matter if I go into the black bat right now, because I'm going to be painting over that with purple. So what I want to do is cover up all the yellow with black. So if I see any yellow on here, I want to get blue on it, or with blue, not black. Cover all the yellow with blue. And so far this color is a little bit darker than I thought it would be. But it might dry a little bit lighter, so we don't know, but I'll probably just keep it anyways. I'm not too obsessive with this costume, but in the future, if it bugs me, I might do something more. And I am painting a little bit out of the line, but that'll be easier to cover up with the purple paint later on. After this dries, we'll get to this last, covering up the parts that around it with purple. And it should look great. This brush is a little stiff. Maybe I should have washed it a little more before I started, but it's okay to have it a little stiff at this point. And the paint's going on really great, which is good. This is a good brand of paint. At first I thought it might have been a cheaper brand because it didn't cost very much. It was like, I don't know, maybe like $1.50 a bottle or less. I don't know. And it wasn't even at an art store either. But it's really working good, and it worked good on the first top of the costume, the purple part already, so that's good. I'm getting a little bit on the side of this black part. If you can't tell, this part is raised up, and the yellow part is indented, because, I don't know if you can tell that on screen, but it is. It's not completely flat. I don't really care if I get in there. I can't fit my brush that small in this corner, so it's going to make a mess anyways. But once again, we're covering it up. The only important thing, I'm going to get some more paint, is to cover up the yellow. And some of the parts that they painted yellow, they didn't do a very good job at. Probably because it's just like a cheap manufactured mask kind of thing. Like, you gotta do it fast and make a whole bunch. But I can do a better job of that because I have time and patience to fill in. Some of the parts were just like sketchy looking on here, like they look like the paint rubbed off, but I don't think it was ever painted in the first place. Little parts like this, so I'm just covering up the yellow down here. And some of the yellow here. This part with the bat is going to be purple as well in the center. And I also have a black paint by the same paint company, paint brand. So I do have a black paint, pure black, and it should help me if I come into any problems with it, because most of this helmet or this mask is just solid black. So if I get it like a mess up or something, I can just go over it with a little more paint. Okay, that's looking good so far. A little more there. Now this part, we're almost getting done with this first part. I don't like using this brush as much as the other one. This is a basic paintbrush, but for some reason I'm not. Maybe it's the angle I'm at. I'm just not liking this brush that much. This part takes a little bit more concentration than the other parts, but it's not really that big of a deal. So it's real simple, and I hope you can see that. Oh, good, you can. Double checking the camera. Okay, we got that. Now there's a little bit left, so I'll get one more dab of paint. I actually poured out a little too much paint. Good thing I didn't pour out any more. Not that I'm really going to use it for any other projects. I might use some of it on the gauntlet. I haven't really figured out what I'm doing on the gauntlet. I know I'm painting it a certain color, but I don't know if I'm going to color it purple or blue at this point. The gauntlet gloves are going to be in a future video, so if you want to stay tuned for that, you can subscribe to Hybrid Games and check out more Batman costume videos of mine, which are coming up in the later days and weeks of this month. Just going over this part again because this one's a little lighter. And I think we're about done. Oh, there's a little bit in here that I gotta get. Okay. I think we are done. There's a little spot right here that I want to get. There's a little spot right here I want to get. I'm looking at it from different angles, kind of, to make sure I got all the yellow off. Or not off, but covered up. Looking pretty good, guys. There's a little spot right there. Okay, that was all for the blue, and I've moved it to a different position, so I'm not leaning over, I'm leaning up, which is better for my position and easier to access the bottom part of the mask. Should be pretty simple, and at the very end, I think this blue stuff is about to be dried, and once it's dry at the end, we'll paint in the center around it and work around that. But for now, we're going to let that part dry and work on the side of up here. Which you can't see, but I'll show you, of course, as we work on this Batman mask. And let's get started. Now, it is up a little high for me, but I should be able to do it. There's a little bit of a glare as well from the light in my room, but it doesn't really show up on the camera, but for me, it's kind of hard to look at certain angles. So we're just going to start going on here, just like we did the other day in the last video, where I painted this, and it turned out alright, so I'm just going to keep using the exact same method. I might actually have to hold some of this part here because it's not really attached too well to this stand that it's on. So what I did was I took my a microphone or a speaker stand, just like a tall metal one, and I put my beanie hat on underneath it to keep it kind of soft material, because it's metal. The stand is metal. And then I put the mask over it, and it worked really good for a stand. And then I put this whole stand on top of a little fold-out table. So now we've got it up higher. I might have to rotate this a little bit to get around to the other side. Okay, we're getting towards the bottom here now. I'm going to do one half at a time, or whatever I can see in my frame of vision right now, my field of vision right now, is what I'm going to be painting. And we'll get into some more specific parts a little bit later, but we're just kind of getting this. And it's okay if I go over some of it from last time, where they kind of connect, but I'm not going to do a second coat of paint like I was going to originally. Because I kind of like the sketchy look to it. It has this brush gives it a sketchy look to it, which I was thinking of when I first grabbed the brush at the store. It kind of gives it like a sketchy look to it. It's not like a complete solid purple if you look really close. You might be able to see that on the camera now, but I don't know. So if not, I'll try to show it to you when it's complete for sure, close-ups. I want to get it all purple all the way down, except for the insides, of course. So we're going to get the very edge here too as well. Okay, now we're going to move on to the bat emblem, the bat in the center, and paint that guy. And it's going to be a little tricky, so I'm not entirely sure what method I should use here, but we're going to try it. What I like to do is... Oh, just like bend it up. Okay, that's not good. Let's go back to this. What I like to do, as what I was saying, was work on the biggest parts first, and then, like if I was painting a picture, I would work on the biggest parts, and then get the corners a little more carefully. Okay, we're almost there. This part's really stressful, guys, and I got that hair keeps coming back on. almost done. That looks good, and we're almost done with that part. Now I gotta do the other half, and there's a little more spikes on the bottom that I gotta get. Really tricky, guys. Really tricky. Perfect concentration here. Kind of reminding myself as much as I'm reminding you that I'm concentrating. I think we messed... No, we're all good. I thought we messed up. It's really hard to hold a steady hand at this part. Once again, it's not that big of a deal if I were to mess up. It's really not. It's not a big deal at all. Okay, so I can just relax a bit for a second here. Okay, we're almost there. It's kind of nice to be almost there, but it's also, this part's really tricky. Once again, I might have to go back over that part because my hand's been touching it. I didn't think about that until now. Okay, we're almost done. I just want to take one more breath and a little more paint on my brush, and then we'll be done. Make sure this is straight. It keeps bending on me. Alright, did it. One more thing I gotta do is this part right here where my finger was touching it. Don't get cocky, Kevin. And this part right here, my finger was just touching that part too. Try to touch it from behind, but alright guys, the Batman mask is fully painted and complete. Alright guys, thanks for watching me paint this Batman mask. I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I know it was a little long and tedious and just me painting, but it was really fun to do. It's really fun to have this mask finally complete, and I'm really excited to have it dry overnight. And then I'll be able to try it on in a later time, and I'll be able to show you guys. So thank you for watching this Batman cosplay, but remember, this series is not done yet. We still got the gauntlets to cut and paint. We've still got some other parts of the costume, including the cape, to work on as well. So there's more to do and more to see on Happy Beard Games with this Batman cosplay based on the Batman the video game. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye!